All right, here we are with Cindy Campbell, the owner of The Gloved Hand, the business that specializes in organic poison ivy removal. Cindy, thanks for being on the show today.
Oh, you're welcome, Franny. It's my pleasure.
And I have a number of questions before we actually get into poison ivy identification, removal, all those kinds of things. So,
great.
How on earth did you get involved in removing poison ivy?
Oh, because it was on the property of the house we bought. So my husband was really allergic to it, so I got the job.
Oh, well, that's great.
Yeah. So once I did my property, my neighbor saw it, and she asked me to do her property, and then her daughter's property, because the grandchildren were getting it from throwing balls into the woods. She said, please take care of my grandchildren. And so my parents started hiring me. You know, it just started to grow from there.
And how long have you been doing it?
Probably 20 years, and we bought the house in
Oh, really? It's been that long?
Oh, more. Yeah, we bought it in '88, so that's a long time ago.
Right, that's great. Now, why get involved in something that seems so dangerous to the rest of us?
Probably the same reason I did it for my husband. It needs to be done, and somebody who can handle it more safely than he can, for instance, it's the logical conclusion. And then it was so appreciative. I love doing something that people really think I'm great, think that I did a great job and did something great for them, and they just can't do anything but say thank you. And I like that. I like positive reinforcement.
Now, for our audience, what should people do when they find poison ivy in their environment, their landscape? How should they react?
Well, you can mark it. That's usually a good, safe start. Put a big rock, a stick, something so you remember that it's there, so you don't run into it and expose yourself. And then you can dig it out. You really can. You have to protect yourself, as you'll see in this video. And digging it out by the roots gets it completely extracted from your property. So that's my estimation, that is the most effective.
Have you ever had any singular experiences in removing poison ivy that really stand out for you? A patch so big, a patch so difficult?
Yeah, sure. There was a huge clump on a picket fence, so it's right around the post of the picket fence. And, oh, not a picket, but a split rail. So it's around the post, and it has grown and grown and grown, and it's gone up on the top of the post, and it's spread along the rail. And at that one post, it was so entrenched that we dug out a hole about this big around, and I'm down in there getting under the roots so I can get every last root, finally pulling it up and holding it in my hands. And it was a very hot day in the 90s, and I was wearing silk to keep myself cool, silk shirt. And when the next couple of days I came down with a rash on my two forearms, it wasn't the intense bubble rash, it was more like a smoother, just a redness that was itchy, because it was, again, through the shirt. But that was the one time when I had to use an over-the-counter medication to treat the skin.
Which is something we're going to talk about in the show, what you need to do. Kind of out of left field, have you ever had dreams about poison ivy?
I didn't know you'd ask that. I only had one.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, besides dreams, in the beginning I'd be spending 3 hours looking at the leaf, looking for the leaf, you know, seeing it in the midst of everything else. And I'd close my eyes at night and see the poison ivy leaf on my eyelids.
On your eyelids?
Yeah, just, you know, the visual, the outline of it and everything.
Right.
But then during that time I did have one dream. And it was that the poison ivy, the essence of it, what it's generated from, you know, it was saying that it didn't intend to be harmful to humans.
Interesting.
And it's not that it said, you know, I'm sorry or anything like that. It just said we didn't want to be a problem. And that was kind of a response to my intense focus on the plant and working with it and not being antagonistic or afraid of it, but just getting to know it, I think that it just gave me that as a response in my own dream.